We have a story that's just crossed our wires here from my colleagues. They're reporting this, that the Trump administration has suggested to Ukraine that U.S. be granted 50% ownership of that country's rare earth minerals and signaled an openness to deploying American troops there to guard them, the minerals, once there's a deal with Russia to end the war. That is according to 4 U.S. officials. The U.S. may not pay Ukraine for the minerals, 2 officials said. Rather, an ownership agreement would be a way for Ukraine to reimburse the U.S. for the billions of dollars in weapons and support it's provided Kyiv since the war began. Trump said he wants the U.S. to get $500 billion of Ukraine's rare earth minerals. John Hallman.
Now, look, Trump's trying to do he's going to try to solve the Russia-Ukraine war by doing some kind of weird strip mining, like land management deal. I don't know.
Can we put a pin in the minerals and just go to the U.S. troops? Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said this week that U.S. troops would not be deployed to Ukraine as part of security guarantees. The Wall Street Journal reported Friday that Vance said in an interview that the U.S. sending troops to Ukraine is on the table if Russia does not negotiate a peace agreement. We're now sending troops to Ukraine to protect minerals?
I don't know, but I will say that there's this echoes with a thing that I read or heard someplace in the last couple of days about Trump's increasingly serious interest in trying to annex Canada, being about the minerals that Canada has. The mineral thing, somehow some weird minerals are in Trump's water right now, or there's some economist in his ear who's telling him about,
I doubt it's an economist.
Right.
It's
Well,
just a
some of those weird, there's some, it's like the kind of economists who are like gold bugs.
Crypto
nut. They are like these, they say, Peter Navarro was an economist, right? In theory? No?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway, it's the kind of thing you would hear in Trump's economic circle,
Alex, I mean, you just wrote a whole book about Trump. There was 9 years ago to debate whether to take him literally or figuratively. He's now the country's commander-in-chief, and this is a serious story by serious journalists, the most deadly serious journalists at this network, about Trump sending troops to Ukraine and stealing their minerals.
Yeah, and here's the thing. And if you look at, and I know you guys were talking about the Eric Adams matter earlier, but Trump at this point in his career, he feels emboldened. He feels like he got away with a number of different things. When you look at the campaign, indicted 4 times, he has been impeached a couple times. There were a couple of assassination attempts on him. And if you look at where he is right now, he feels sort of invincible at this point. And so no matter what the coverage looks like, no matter how much criticism he gets for his moves, he feels like he just wants to go and plow ahead. And so maybe he'll get criticism for this, maybe not, but it doesn't necessarily bother him at this point. And so you've seen a number of moves over the last month that have been stunning, that have been outside the norms, but that doesn't necessarily bother him.
Is it legal?
I mean, it doesn't matter if it bothers him. He's not going to be able to do that. I mean, there's certainly stuff they're doing right now that courts have said they can't, right? And maybe they've stopped doing it, and maybe they haven't, and we don't know. And that's the big question: are we hurtling towards a constitutional crisis? Yeah. But this is more than just being emboldened. Like, this is not okay. This stuff is so beyond the norm. And in fact, like we're seeing multiple different walkbacks. Remember last week he said he was going to send troops to Gaza.
Oh, right, paving Gaza.
Yeah.
Alex, when you named the book Revenge, did you think it would be the animating principle of a presidency in this country?
To some extent, yes. He made it pretty clear for a while that he wanted revenge on a lot of people. He spent the midterms of 2022 going after people like Liz Cheney. He spent a lot of time going after the judge. A lot of his focus has been on people who've crossed him. And so it only made sense that once he got into power, he would use his power to go after people that he didn't like. And so you talk about people like John Bolton, you talk about people like General Milley. It really only made sense that he would use his power to find ways to get back at them. And so in that respect, his decision to strip their security wasn't all that surprising.